beginning, when the diagnosis comes, whatever that may be, stirs a lot of different emotions and feelings and questions, and that's what our program's here to address. So before I introduce the little ones here, I would like to introduce Lucia Gomez, and pardon me? Miranda. Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry about that. Miranda, and let her share a little bit about Frankie, her son, and the program. And I've asked Evelina to interpret where needed. Actually, Lucia can speak English, but when we get emotional, it's a lot easier to speak in our native language. So Evelina will help out.
Okay, pues mi nombre es Lucía Miranda. My name is Lucía Miranda. Tengo un niño que tiene 2 años y medio. My son is 2.5 years old. Y estoy muy contenta con el programa que tienen.
I'm very happy with the program that he has.
Gracias a eso, él tiene bastante ayuda y para mí también.
Thanks to the program, he has a lot of help and also for me as well.
Él tiene problema de audición.
He has hearing problems.
Y cuando a mí me lo dijeron, yo no tenía conocimiento de esto, yo no sabía nada de eso.
When they told me, I had no idea, I had no knowledge about all of this.
Fue algo nuevo y fue muy impactante para mí.
It was new and it was of high impact to me.
Pero gracias a que llegó Shamahl a mi casa a tocarme.
Thank God that Shamahl came and knocked at my door in my house.
Y le abrí las puertas de mi casa.
And I opened the doors to my house.
Me ayudaron con el programa que ellos tienen.
They helped me with the program.
Y ahorita mi hijo está hablando 3, 4 palabras.
My son is speaking 3 to 4 words sentences.
Es todo lo que... bueno, hay muchas cosas, pero...
There's a lot of things, but I think this is about it.
Yo me sentí bien contenta cuando él recibió sus hearing aids.
I was very happy when he got his hearing aids.
Lo recibió como a los 9 meses, se tardaron un poquito para dárselo.
He got them when he was 9 months old. It took a little while to get them.
Ya, pero yo me sentí bien contenta porque pues, ya con esos aparatos él podía oír mejor.
I was very happy because with the hearing aids he could hear better.
Ya, y ahorita pues gracias a esto y a la ayuda que le están dando tanto como los maestros que trabajan con él ya ha aprendido bastante.
He's learned a lot and I'm very thankful to the help and also the work with the teachers with it. I think that's it.
It was interesting when I first met Lucia. She's so welcoming, she's so friendly. But I think she brought up a good point in her statement about my knocking on the door and her opening the door. Because we take it for granted that the door will be open, you know? And that's not always the case. And sometimes that's really frightening for a family. It's like, why are you here? What are you going to do? Why are you coming to my home, you know? And a lot of questions about, and then when I mentioned school, oh my gosh, you know, all the families look at me like, I have a baby, it's a baby, and you're taking them to school, you know, it's going to be, all they could envision is sitting in these little chairs, you know, and waiting patiently, you know, and we're talking about 6 months or whatever. And so what I've tried to do is always have the family visit during that IFSP process. So the second meeting, first meeting's at home, where they open the door, and are gracious and welcome us in. The second meeting is at school, so they can see the room that has been designed as a family-friendly environment for the families to come into, with the crib and with the changing table and with the different toys that they can play with, and then it's like, oh, okay, it's not the seats. They're not going to be forced into sitting down and, you know, attending. So kind of things go easier after that. But there are a lot of questions, as you know. So part of the reason I brought the babies with me is that this has been a hard thing to get across to administrators, no offense, but when I would say that I'm working with infants or babies, most of you having children, you will describe your kindergartner as my baby. You will describe your first grader as your baby. And so when I would talk to administrators, it was like, okay, first grader. And it just completely went there, So I had to start bringing pictures of the children when I would present or when I would be at meetings. So they said, no, I mean babies, real babies, not like this, but real babies. And so, that's part of the reason I brought these babies, besides they're really cute. And Carolyn just approved some money that I was able to buy some more because our population has grown significantly. And I like to have the babies for the children because they do relate to them, but sometimes they think they're real. So it's a little frightening at first for the babies when they see some little one that looks about the same and is about the same size even sometimes. So, but just to give you some background for the program, the history, this Robert Shear Preschool really started in the early 70s. And with a lot of preparation before then because of the rubella outbreak. And there were more and more children in the 60s, late 60s, being identified with hearing loss. So that really was the stimulus behind Robert Shear Preschool. And that program was completely designed for the deaf, so that there's acoustic walls, the light only comes in from the top, from the higher, windows. It doesn't have windows all at your eye level, so that there wouldn't be glare, so that when the children, you're trying to sign with the children, they wouldn't be trying to see, but then there'd be glare in their eyes. And so those classrooms over the years, though, have moved to different, there have been different needs, and the population has changed somewhat. So, Robert Shear, of course, was a speech pathologist with our district. He was the one who just passed away a couple of years ago. And he really was the soul behind the whole program. And he also hired many of the speech therapists that are still there. I was not one of them. I've only been with the district for 10 years. But my predecessor, Jan Lindbergh, was one of those original people. And I've had the pleasure of having quite a legacy of teachers that have gone before me that really have set the tone for the quality of programs at Robert Shear Preschool. And I have worked in 5 different environments in my 40 years in special ed. And I have to say this environment at Robert Shear is the most highly skilled. And truly, it's been a wonderful experience. And for me to go out on this note is just wonderful because I feel like it's really been uplifting and supportive, and really the people there have, the teachers there and the administrator there have the best needs of the children at heart and are doing what they can to really provide the best possible program. So what happened for us though is a program for the deaf, and it was before my time, but there was the program was like 6 children in a classroom, or maybe, I think when Jan started a part-time, and then I came in part-time, we were shared, like a job share. There were just 12 children in the program. But then in 2006, some major things happened, and what happened for the Deaf Ed program was that the state mandated that all the hospitals in the area had to do a screening of every baby that's born, and then if the child doesn't pass the screening, then they have to have what's called an auditory brainstem test. And that sounds terrible for those who were pregnant. Is this your first pregnancy?